Have you ever had that feeling when you feel really excited about the direction you're taking? You've got a plan, everything's in order, and then life takes over, something happens, you forget the plan, you've got no time for the plan, you realize it was just a ridiculous idea, and then you go back to your old ways. Or sometimes it's just a case of life swallowed you up and you didn't even have a plan in the first place. There was just nothing steering you in any direction and you feel lost. And so I have felt like this on many occasions, and I want to talk about how I overcome this in today's episode. So someone reached out to me and said I'd mentioned having a safety net on my wall and would I talk more about that? And I thought, yes, absolutely, because I think this could help many of you with a I have a wall, but you could easily just have like a journal or a book. And inside the journal, book, or on my wall, I have things that I want to be reminded of, safety nets. So I'm going to talk this through. And in fact, if you click the links below, you'll see a picture of my wall and also a link to a reel that I've recorded as well if you want to go and have a look. So I'm going to talk off mine now. It's right in front of me. So I haven't always been able to have wall space to put things up on. So before I had wall space, I used to put things in a folder and I'd have it on my desk so I could look through it. So basically, and there's quite a few things on my wall now, which has grown over time, but it started out really with my mission. So for me, on my wall right now, and how it all began was a mission statement. And that mission statement really was my intent for art, for creativity. And it reminded me of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So when it got really tough and I would question why I'm even doing all of this, I'd look at my mission statement. I would also have it there to actually remind me. So it was always in the background. So when actually on my desk. So when I did talks like this, I could glance at my mission statement and remember what it is that I'm doing. Because words escape me sometimes. And so that's how it all began for me, having like my mission. So I was just always kind of connected then to what it is that I'm doing. And then when I started to work on United Art Space, I'd bring myself back to the mission. Does it fill the mission? Yes. So that mission statement right now on my wall says to help people live their most creative lives. I want to create, empower, and show people possibility because your art matters. So that is my mission and it's there all the time. And when the going gets tough or I have a nasty comment, I go back to that and I go, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. So it started with just my mission statement and now it's grown into different things. And now on my wall, I also have little messages from my children. And I also have mantras that help me um, with whatever it is that I'm struggling with right now. So, one of the mantras that's been on my wall for a long time now is stop thinking, just do it. Now, this one will be replaced very soon, but this was on my wall pretty much all last year as I was working through the process of writing a book. And I kept really overthinking the whole book process. So, that was there. Every time I started to overthink, like, what if there's a spelling mistake in the book? What if people don't buy it? What if I fail? All these things. What if it's criticized? What happens when I get my first negative review? All of those things used to stop me. What if I never finish this? What if it blah blah blah? So I created this little message to myself, and I'm always thinking in terms of my goal, like what I'm trying to achieve, what is the biggest block that I have right now? And I usually have one little mantra on my wall that snaps me out of that way of thinking and pulls me back into feeling good about what I'm doing. So that was on my wall. I'll be replacing that one soon. I also have on my wall a weekly planner. So my weekly planner's there and it's split out Monday to Sunday. And on certain days, I do things like Monday is my admin day. Tuesday is my creative day, so it's just open for creativity. Wednesday is usually my meetings day. I'm having meetings on Wednesdays. Thursday is my membership day. Friday is my art day. And so I have structure there and then weekends off. But on my weekly planner, I've actually marked down some things that I want to do in my spare time, like roller skating, um, and running. There's a park run near us, and I've never been, and I've always wanted to go. So I've put that on the planner to remind me, and I'll put it into my diary to book one. So my weekly planner's there. And what I love about the weekly planner, having that on my wall, is that I don't always follow that structure, but it's there when I need grounding and I need foundations laid back down again. And I can just, when I lose it, because I lose it a lot, lose it, I mean, if life gets overwhelming, something happens at home, when the children have hurt themselves or they're in hospital or something happens, family's ill, or um, something happens at work that goes wrong, and then it just totally, I lose focus, and a lot of the time I don't even know what day it is anyway. I'm ADHD and I don't really work to time, so I days are just days to me a lot of the time. So when I lose it and I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing and I don't know what day it is and I've lost my focus and I don't even know what my mission is and I don't know what my goal is and I am like, I don't know what my name is right now, then I go to my weekly planner and my anchor, my mission. I come back to these things like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And so my weekly planner is there. I also have a home one, which is in the kitchen for all the children's stuff. And this one is my art one, my work one. And I think some people will find that they have a personal one, especially if you've got family and lots of different things going on. So you might already have that, but having one specifically for your art and your creativity is wonderful, because then that means you're making time for that too. So I also, on my wall, have two safety nets on post-it notes. And one of them is what I do to prevent overwhelm and anxiousness. So sometimes when things get busy in life, when I've committed to doing something big and then I start to feel overwhelmed by all the tasks, or maybe I'm just not feeling well. Some weeks I'm really tired or my ADHD is raging. And those who have that kind of brain will know that when your head's spinning like a spinning top, it's really difficult to focus and concentrate. So I have a list on my wall um, with things to do when I feel like that. So blow thoughts away, go for a walk, take time to meditate, even just for 60 seconds, focusing on the breath. Take breaks and stretch. That's one that really helps me. Take a breath, remain calm, and tell yourself, I can do this. So I have that written on post-it notes up there. And then I also have another post-it note. I'm not suggesting you have all of these, by the way. This is just what helps me. Your safety net is something that you'll create to help you. This is what I need. And as I say, it started off with one message and it's grown to this over the years. My other post-it note is how to focus, how to help me focus. As I say, I have ADHD, so I can get really distracted. I can get really, and it's not just about distraction. I can sometimes find it very difficult to just concentrate on a task. It's like I get really fidgety. I can't, my brain just, it's like I can't move my brain into gear. And yeah, it's really strange. And I'm so impacted by my environment and thoughts. So I have a post-it note for focus, and on there is this is a really big one for me, and I always forget, listen to music through ear pods. So if I've got a task that needs focus, and that could be making art, writing an email, doing something difficult, bookkeeping, that kind of thing, it's so different for me playing music through a speaker than it is through my earpods. And if I just listen to music in the background, it's a different experience. I still feel quite distracted. But as soon as I put my ear pods in, even if there's no music coming out, and then they act as a bit of a ear defender diffuser, I can focus. It's eliminated that sense, and then all of a sudden the other senses are heightened. And so that one is a massive one. And I have it on my post-it note because I always forget. I always forget, and I know it, but I forget every week. I forget. The other one is to change my environment. I can so focus so differently if I'm sat somewhere else. If I can go to a cafe, and I found a few spots in my local area now, the library, one of them, a few cafes. So I know that if I'm really struggling, I just need to pack my stuff up. I need to get out of the house, and I need to just then put my earpods in and go in a different environment. And then another thing that really helps me is to take one task. So when I've got a big long to-do list, and right now I've got multiple pages of to-do lists I need to go through. When I have big lists like that, when I've got lots of things, I literally just take one task off it, and I write it either on a scrap of paper, or I have it in front of me, and I turn off distractions, and then I just focus on that one thing on the post-it note or on the piece of paper in front of me, and that's it. And then I try and eliminate and move things, and turning this off. In fact, that isn't on there, and I need to add that on. Turning this off helps too, because if this is lying around, I will literally be working. That's my phone I'm talking about for those who are listening, sorry. Um, if my phone is lying on my desk, I will literally just randomly pick it up for no reason. Well, you'll understand, it's weird. So I also have a couple of affirmations too. So I've in the past had a bit of anxiety about certain things. So I've written little messages to myself um, to reassure myself in those moments. And then finally, there's one last post it note on here, and that is a goal that I have. And that goal is to take my children to Mindvalley University, which is quite a big investment. And I've written it out on a post-it note and put down how much it would cost, and broken it down so that when I look at that post-it note, it kind of reminds me of getting to the point where I can pay that, and getting to the point of feeling like that person that's ready to go there. And it means a lot. So that's on there to remind me again of why I'm doing everything that I do, so that I can take my children there one day. And it also reminds me of why I want to go there, because I'm really into mind work and mental health, and really working on ourselves as people. So it reminds me of that, to always be thinking about that too. So there's a lot on my wall. And like I say, when you're creating a safety net, because for some people this would be way too overwhelming. I like it like this, but you might just have one thing on your wall, and that might just be your weekly planner, so that you can just glance every time you lose it and you think, what am I supposed to be doing? And it's there written down. And the trick with this too is to not overload it. So my weekly planner only has a couple of things on it, not like tons and tons of things, because the last thing you want from your safety net is to get overwhelmed and feel like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. You want to look at your safety net and think, yeah, I've got this. So that's how I look at my wall. I'm like, I don't look at all of this in one go. I go to the bit that I need when I need it, and I know it's there. Um, I know for some people that would be too much. You just have to stick one thing up at a time when you need it. So you could create a bank of things like this. And then each week you pull one out and put it up on your wall to give you focus or remind you. So yeah, that's what I do. I really like it. Little messages to myself to remind myself to keep it together, to help me through the things that I really struggle with as a person. And my safety net, I love it so much. So I hope that helps. Like, if you want to look below, the link is below. And I'd love to know, do you have a safety net? What's in your safety net? Please do share. We'll put the link below that you can go and share what you put on your safety net. I'd love to know anyway. Take care. Bye, my friends.